Alrighty then. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and fast forward to 90 seconds, and that is when the show will begin. Go ahead and fast forward. There we go. Sup, Don? Sup, Jay? Mike? What's going on? Snapjack? Ryan? Jeremy? E? What up? Yo, 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 yo. Go ahead and fast forward if you're watching the replay to 90 seconds. We'll start in 63 minutes. You just got 2K. Which system? Which system, brother? What's up, Ryan? Dub? What's going on? I downloaded 2K opening night. Like, I didn't even wait. I always get the box. There's something, I don't know. I like having the box. I can't say what it is. What's up, brother? But I downloaded it digital that night. PS4. I was going to say, look me up. I have a PS4, but I do Xbox Live. What's up, brother? What's going on? We will start in 30 seconds. So I am stoked, though, and I do want to talk about this. Why is Redick in the title? Because of his statement that he was actually pursued by the Suns on free agency night, and I wrote about it, published it today. What's up, Daniel? Good evening to you. But I wrote about it, published it today. I got some thoughts on it. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts. I think that the fact that they just pursued him means something really cool. Really cool. I think I'm excited about that. So, we are 90 seconds in. Welcome to Valley of the Suns Live, the weekly edition. My name is Adam Maines. I'm your host. I'm your site editor. I am your friend in the sun. Oh, Cafe Botticelli got hacked. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I do want to just first start out. What's up, Brochacho? I want to give a shout out to BJ, formerly of Cafe Botticelli, from Australia. I forget which city in Australia, but you were the genesis for one of our more popular posts this past week that I wrote about the potential for the Damian Lillard trade. I love that trade. I had to amend it a little bit because I didn't get contracts to work and so forth, but that was because of BJ, formerly Cafe Botticelli. That was his trade idea. Did I see the footage of the Suns playing in San Diego? I did not, if you want to send that to me. Near Melbourne. Cool. I'm doing fantastic. So I do want to start out. Kind of the big news of the week, I think, was the fact that JJ Redick had said on a podcast that the Phoenix Suns had actually reached out to him on the night free agency open. Of course, the Suns announced probably a good 90 minutes or 45 minutes, if I recall, after the opening of free agency this year. Oh, okay, I haven't seen it. What's up, brother? He said that the Suns had also approached him and said that they had they could work him in. Did I see that? I did not. Oh, go ahead. That was a bot. We're 30 minutes in, so go ahead and please heart, please like, please retweet. Let everybody know that we are live for the next hour or so. Probably a little bit more. I always like to do overtime. And so he turned it down. He wanted to play for a winner. Fine. He's a veteran. He's like 30. I don't actually have his age up. He's like 35, 36. I'll see if I can pull it up very quickly. Maybe, or 34. But regardless, what are the chances? I would think that they are moderate. I would say moderate. And I do want to hit on that first, next. But, okay, Redick, what is his age? So he wanted to play for a winner, and I don't blame him. I mean, he's a vet now. Okay, so he is 34, just turned 34 2 months ago. So he's a hair younger than me, 7 months, I would say. And so he turned it down. He signed for a $12, $13 million deal with Philly 1 year. That said, the Suns said that they had a trade that they could work out, and we have to imagine that trade was Jared Dudley. They were going to dump J-Dub's contract, and that makes sense. So he's probably going to Brooklyn. He probably had that worked out. Suns better trade that Bucks pick. I don't know. I can't see any more. I just want a decent point guard. I see D. Booker and Ayton working together. Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to work together. Although on 2K, they don't work together well. I can't get a damn alley-oop into Ayton's hands to save his life, and I want to say that it's his stats and nobody else's. So that's it. So Redick said that he was interested in, that the Suns approached him, and he made it sound like he was actually a little bit interested. He didn't say how interested. No, he doesn't. He lights it up, and it drives me crazy. But I think it's a big deal that came out, that the Suns made a big push. They said they were going to trade. They had a trade ready for him and all kinds of stuff. I think that's a big deal, and I wrote about it today. If you guys check it out, I went really in depth with my idea. But I do think that means that the Suns really truly are attempting to move into the Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors formula and style. They want their star guard They want to shoot a lot of threes. Now, granted, Houston shoots way more threes. I want to say last year they averaged 42 to Golden State's 35. It was a big gap. Regardless, Houston shoots a lot more. Golden State is far more efficient. Whereas Houston led the league in attempts, I believe they were second in percentage because Golden State had the top percent. I want to say that as a team shot 38%. 38% for a team is just absolutely ridiculous. By the way, I see that the fireball, it's kind of driving me nuts, but I don't know, it looks kind of cool. How's that? That almost looks like you can't see it on, well, let's see if I can do it for YouTube. The camera's on the way, but if you guys check it out on YouTube, you check it out on Twitter, Periscope, it looks kind of strange. I'm going to have to change that. Maybe I'll just do this. But I do think that means the Suns are absolutely going to make a hard push to be in the Golden State, Houston, play that formula and just shoot a lot of threes, do a lot of transition. And, that is an awesome stat line. I will definitely take that every day of the week or every game of the year. And so I think that's a big deal. Obviously, they signed Trevor Ariza, who last year shot 36% from three and has shot over 40% once. I want to say it was 3 or 4 years ago. They traded for Ryan Anderson. They traded away. I think it's more important rather than who they acquired, but who they got rid of. Marquise Chris was a super inconsistent three-point shooter. Jared Dudley could shoot threes, but just could literally do absolutely nothing else. And of course, they wanted the cap space. And so then, they've got Troy Daniels, who's a career 40% three-point shooter. So I hope so. So I really think that is the direction they're going. So I expect to see a ton of threes shot this year. And again, I wrote in the post, so I didn't pull it up, but the Suns were 24th in three-pointers made, and then had the worst percentage in the league, if I recall correctly. I expect that to change. I really do. And what that does is, now people might say, well, then now you've got a plotting DeAndre Ayton who doesn't shoot threes. He can. I do expect him to stretch the floor a little bit. He only shot 33 threes last year at U of A and made 10. So, I mean, and the court, not the court, but the three-point line being a little bit closer, I think it does make it a little bit easier for him. Made it a little bit easier for him in college versus, Will in the pros. That said, he can stretch the floor, and I don't know if he'll ever be a Karl Anthony Towns where he's taking 250, 300 three-pointers a year. The fact, though, that he can, it does allow him to stretch the floor somewhat. That said, he is really good in the post, and hopefully as the years goes by, he improves even more and more. And so when the defense is stretched out around the three-point line, because there are 4 three-point shooters out there, I think it absolutely makes it easier for Ayton to have one-on-one in the, be able to play one-on-one in the post, which is going to just get him a ton of looks. But will he be better than Cat? In what way? What way does he need to be better than Cat? Again, I don't know if I'll ever need to shoot threes. It's more about, can he get one-on-one in the post and then dominate those smaller centers, which he's going to play against smaller centers constantly. Nobody wants their center out on the three-point line anyway, except for the Timberwolves, who obviously, they allowed Karl Anthony Towns to shoot. I'll pull up his stats. I want to say he attempted 250 threes last year. He led the team in percentage. Yeah, he shot 42.1% from three last year, and he attempted 3.5 a game. So he shot 285. He shot 285 threes, so it's 3.5 a game, and he played all 82 games. So he literally averaged 3.5 a game. That's just tremendous. But I hope Cat wants to leave, and the Suns can get him, in my opinion. How did the Wolves go on the playoffs? It didn't work for him, but I don't necessarily blame him. They were definitely underprepared. Also, Denver, where Mike Malone was having Jokic shot contest threes against Minnesota. Yeah. Okay, so with Karl Anthony Towns, here's the thing. I'm hopeful that Ayton is comparable to, if not, obviously I want to be better than Karl Anthony Towns because Karl Anthony Towns is freaking amazing. I'm hoping he's at least comparable. If he's 90% Karl Anthony Towns, then you've got a really good franchise center for the next decade. I don't think they do trade for Butler, and I don't want him to, and I'll definitely talk about that right now. That said, the reason I wouldn't want to trade for Karl Anthony Towns, okay, so I just said trade. I think he would have to be traded for 2 reasons. First off, yes, after this season he'll be a restricted free agent. I don't think that Minnesota would ever let him go for nothing. So at worst, it's a sign and trade. Secondly, or at worst, truthfully, it's a trade during the season to a team that, Karl Anthony Towns pointed to and said, yes, I will re-sign with them. Secondly, I don't think that Karl-Anthony Towns would want to sign an extension that was any less than the 5-year max, which means it would have to be a sign and trade. And if you're going to trade for Karl-Anthony Towns and you're going to be able to put together the package that's going to beat everybody else, you have to imagine that they would trade Ayton, which, and I, obviously I would hope I'd be wrong. Oh yeah, take T.J. Warren and Troy Daniels will be expired, Chase and Chandler will be expired. Take T.J. Warren, the first-round pick, and boom. They would want to play with Booker, so you wouldn't trade Booker, of course. So that would mean they would probably have to trade Ayton. And if they trade Ayton, that means they can trade less because of, again, the projected talent, especially if Ayton has a really good year this year and plays like Shaq, like Karl-Anthony Towns did as rookies. I don't like that, and I'm hoping you're saying Alonzo's been looking great. I just saw Bleacher Report said that Doncic has been balling, so we'll see. Kat says he won't sign an extension after what happens with Butler. Give me hope. Okay, well, so here's the other thing, though. Does Karl-Anthony Towns and Devin Booker make the Suns championship competitive? Because if the answer is no. It's just 100% no, because Karl-Anthony Towns and Jimmy Butler do not make the Minnesota Timberwolves championship competitive. And hell, they were the 8th seed in the playoffs and were 1 game away from missing the playoffs. Okay, yeah, that would be scary, but that would only be possible. Pat Bev, Booker, Jackson, Cat, and Ayton would be championship competitive, but that's only possible on 2K. Honestly, and I don't want to. Please don't make me be out a jerk. That's just not going to be a possible thing because I don't think it's going to be possible to get Karl-Anthony Towns without trading Towns, right? So here's the other thing: if that pairing is not championship worthy, then you're going to have to get a third star. You have to. I mean, that's going to be the only way to compete. And if Josh Jackson is not that third star, then you're going to have to go get that third star somewhere else. Well, okay, of course, obviously, I want him to be able to keep Josh Jackson. I want him to be able to keep DeAndre and acquiring Karl-Anthony Towns. And I would love him to get Patrick Beverley, to get, I would take Spencer Dinwiddie over Patrick Beverley, personally, but what have you. Just, a very serviceable D'Lo. Again, none of those guys are superstar point guards, but they're at least above average or higher level of average, if you will. My thing, though, is that if you have to trade Ayton, which, again, I would just stand by, I would have to imagine that would have to be, Ayton would have to be the heart of the package that would get Karl-Anthony Towns out of Minnesota. If that is the fact, now you have your 2 max players under contract. And if Josh Jackson is not that third superstar worthy of a max contract at some point, they have to go find one. Otherwise, Karl-Anthony Towns and Devin Booker do not make a championship team. So we're going to be, if that's the case. If the Suns do get Patrick Beverley now, excluding Karl-Anthony Towns, they are already the Houston Rockets of, the Eastern or Western Houston Rockets. If we need to trade Ayton, I'll just stick with it the time. And there goes my point. There's my point. Because Karl-Anthony Towns signs a max extension after this season, DeAndre Ayton will have 3 more seasons after this season before he signs that max, which allows the Suns to go find, via trade or free agency, that third max contract, get him under contract now, which then allows them in 3 years to then sign Ayton to a max and be able to keep that core together. What made Golden State work was the fact that they had those guys already on the roster before they had to go max. And that's already potentially going to be a contentious issue, this offseason. They might lose 1, if not 2 players because of the ability to keep guys under contract all at a max deal. So if the Suns have 2 under contract, that's going to be the vast majority of their roster right there. They won't be able to go out and sign that third max contract in free agency if that guy's ever available. It'll be more difficult to them able to trade for one who is already under the max. So it just works statistically, if you will, contractually, to have your 3 maxes on the contract, on the roster, and then start pushing them in, because then you're able. When you keep guys are able to go over, there's less limitations. There are always limitations, but there are less. So that would be my deal. Is financially, if Ayton is going to be comparable, and even if Ayton is going to be 90%, even if Ayton is 85% of Karl-Anthony Towns, and think about what 80% would be. 80% is still going to be a double-double guy every year that's going to average close to 20 points and 10 boards every year, and over a block. I mean, so that would still be a damn good center. Especially if he can step back and shoot threes. Now we're talking. Suns have been talking about a max player for 6 years. We aren't getting a max guy. I don't believe in free agency when in regards to signing a free agent. That made no sense. In regards to signing a max free agent. Is Darrell Arthur able to be traded right now? Yes. Yes, because he was acquired through trade, yes. Suns are hoping one of the young guys on the team reach to start him, yes. Would I give up the Milwaukee pick for Pat Beverly? No, because he's only under contract for one more year. 20 points and 10 boards is someone who you don't trade, especially when Ayton wants to be here. Exactly, I totally agree. We ain't giving up a number one pick developing at center for at least another 2 years. Precisely. Now again, Karl-Anthony Towns looked damn good. 2 years ago as a second year center, 25.1 points, 12.3 boards. I mean, that's damn good. But trade for Lonzo with the pieces of Lillard, pieces of, but not the entire. I would still take Lonzo, yes. Wolves will want expiring contracts or Cat. They would have to. Arthur can be traded but can't be packaged in a trade. Oh, he has to be traded one-on-one? Oh, so not packaged with other players. He can't be with picks. Oh, not even for Cat. We're 15 minutes in. That's a great point. Go ahead and please retweet. Let me check something real quick. You know what? If I screwed that up, Patrick Beverley to the Suns makes sense. Yes, but for a second, which is what the Suns reportedly want to trade. Should the Suns put Josh Jackson on the trade block or too early? They shouldn't put him on the trade block. I would trade him for one guy in the NBA, and that is Damian Lillard. But I would offer him. I would call Portland right now and say, Josh Jackson plus for Damian Lillard. And maybe my first 3 with Ayton. Nice. I wonder what approach the Suns should take. In regards to what? Yeah, Arthur can be traded with picks, but can't be packaged with other players. Oh, so then my trade for Damian Lillard would not be able to work just yet. Where is he on here? He's not on ESPN Trade Machine. How do you guys know that? I want to just be sure. I just want to be sure. I thought those kind of trade blocks were limited. I'm looking at Ryan Anderson. If a team is over salary cap and receives a player in trade, they cannot trade the player in combination with other players for 2 months. Oh no, it says if a team is over the salary cap and receives a player in trade. So that wouldn't. Well, we'll see. Well, but again, so it says if a team is over the salary cap. So who am I higher on? Elie Okobo, Anthony Melton? Can I say neither? I mean, one was the 31st overall pick. The other was the 46th. I mean, I don't really have high hopes for anybody outside of the top 10 anyway. So, higher hopes. I mean, I would have a higher hope for Okobo just simply because he was drafted higher. But I kind of like Melton a little bit more, just strictly from the perspective of he's played in the U.S. And I don't want that to make me sound like European guys suck. A lot do. But, I mean, they were both also second rounders, so I'm not higher on either of them. Okobo is a better point guard for us since he already has the most playing time with Ayton. Okay, what approach should you take? Signing role players to lower deals? Like one role players and free agency role players. He can be traded with cap space, absorbing cash. He can't be packaged with other players' salaries. So again, but it just says over the salary cap. So let me, for the sake of argument, since I have it up, let me just try to trade Ryan Anderson and for Damian Lillard, and we'd have to have one more. I'll trade. Okay, so that contract should work. This trade has failed. Ryan Anderson cannot be traded and accommodate. Okay, well, so then, yeah, so it says Ryan Anderson cannot be traded. Oh, but you guys, it says the restriction expires October 31st. So that means the restriction expires after the first month. So that could then work that, for the Suns, with Lillard. They might have a trade with Portland, kind of like your discussions going, hey, Portland, if you guys are still 500 at the end of the first month, it's really only at the end of the second week, then, we'll make that trade November 1st. So remember, the season starts October 17th. So that would mean that he just misses 2 weeks of the season. It sucks because I know we won't sign a big name next year, maybe a trade. It will have to be trade. Ryan Anderson can't be combined either. Not sure what the time frame is. According to Trade Machine, it's just October 1st, so that's not late at all. Didn't Melton play good for the Rockets in Summer League? Yeah, but Josh Jackson played poorly. So does that mean that Melton is going to have, a potentially higher upside, I guess, during the regular season? Like, I would expect more from Melton than I would from Josh Jackson. Take the delay with a grain of salt. Ayton looked okay, but he also hardly played. And the systems too. I mean, Josh Jackson looked like trash, but he was playing with the first head, with the brand new head coach with terrible talent. Why would the Blazers give us Lillard for anything less than the King's ransom? Well, I think what I would offer is a King's ransom. Do the Suns only want Beverly, or would they take Well, it would all be contractual in that case. It all depend on what all was required to make the trade work. And so if the Clippers said, "Hey, you got to take on a bigger contract," well, then the Suns would have to trade a bigger contract to be able to balance the trade. I'll give it a shot and just see here. Can the Suns absorb a contract? Let's see. Can the Suns absorb Patrick Beverley according to ESPN Trade Machine? Where the hell are you, Clippers? Oh, the Trade Machine doesn't say Clippers. It just says LA. That's weird. All right, so Patrick Beverley to the Suns. Can the Suns absorb it? No. Suns would have to cut $4.9 million. So no, the Suns would then have to trade something. True, new system takes a while to learn, like the Cardinals. Yeah, like the Cardinals. Go 0-16. Give him the first overall pick. Mikal Bridges would be better than Josh in the future. I hope you're wrong, but you might be right. So is Davin Reed getting a two-way contract or a normal contract? I don't know that answer to be sure. I got to imagine that if they keep George King, he's going to get one, and then Elliot Kobo will get the other. So, because they only have two. So, and right now, George King is already slated on a two-way contract. So he's one. So I would assume Elliot Kobo is the other. Just because they are going to, if they trade, let's say they get Terry Rozier, which I don't think is going to happen. Boston's not trading him. But let's say they get Pat Beverley or Spencer Dinwiddie or, whoever, and they just trade. But Okobo signed a WL second round. Okobo's contract is just strictly second round. I'm thinking if we want to contend for chips, we need a top 3 lottery. Bring on Tankapalooza. I don't think they're going to trade it. They're going to tank again. At least not. For the Cardinals? Yeah, no, they're tanking. I would tank at this point. They're not going to be a playoff team. I would tank. He would have to file some paperwork to come back. King was the only one getting a two-way player. Well, they have two, so it doesn't make sense they would only use one, right? You have two of them, and and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So they already have 18 guys under contract right now. So my thing is, I think Davin Reed is going to be under contract. He's going to get a full contract. If Okobo's already signed just a second round with no two-way deal, then he's going to be like a healthy scratch every night. Beverly Rumor just smoke screen for another random trade for a point guard. Could be the Pat Beverley thing. Could be the Suns. It could be the Clippers. It could be Patrick Beverley. His camp. It could be Spencer Dinwiddie's camp. It could be it could be totally bogus. It could be totally phony and bogus. I mean, it could be just something. And that's another point why the Celtics wouldn't trade Terry Rozier. It just, they don't know if Irving is coming back. Do you think our game 1 point guard is on a team today? Yeah, because I think it's Devin Booker. So going back to my point of are the Suns moving towards the Houston Rockets, and do I believe the Suns' national perception of the Suns is fair? No, it's not fair because Devin Booker doesn't get any respect yet. As soon as Devin Booker gets respect, and people start looking at him as like, hey, he's actually a really damn good shooting guard, and the average fan thinks that, then they'll be getting better respect. No, that's the thing. I think granted opening day is because, that's when I say day one, when I'm speaking of opening day, obviously the Suns don't have Devin Booker, so I don't know. That said, I do think the Suns are going to move into the, and LeBron James made that great comment too. See, don't like point guard book. I love the idea of point guard book. I want the best player on the team to have the ball in his hands the most. And the thing about it is that, so what is the job of the point guard? It is to facilitate the offense. What if the offense is just strictly movement, and it's more about bringing the ball up a half court, dumping the ball into the post, and then everybody running around the arc until, just passing it, I want all five players to touch the ball, but I want Devin Booker to touch the ball first. I want him to lead every break. I want him to have the ball in his hands, and when he sees his defender slack off to drop off to try to prevent a throw, a toss the post, boom, he just takes a wide open three. There are just so many different options for Devin Booker and for the offense when he is carrying the ball up. Did you hear Bill Simmons slamming the Suns at Booker? No, I didn't. If you can send, I don't listen to Bill Simmons, so if you can send me a link, I'll totally listen to it. Maybe I'll write a piece on it. A lot of guys say Book is good. Beal, KD, and I think JB. They have, yeah. Devin Booker. Oh, yes. And so that is my point. And by the way, we're 25 minutes in. Go ahead and please retweet. Trade Booker for Damian Lillard? You're crazy. No, you bring Damian Lillard here to play with D-Book. So, are the Suns moving in the direction of Houston and Houston and Golden State? I believe so, and I think that's why JJ Redick was brought in was discussed. Because think about this: JJ Redick is not a starting point guard. JJ Redick is a shooting guard, and he's a starter. If he had come here, they obviously weren't trading Devin Booker, which means, and they weren't going to put Devin Booker or JJ Redick at the 3. That means Devin Booker was going to be the starting point guard, and JJ Redick was going to play next to him. Now, can JJ Redick play the point guard? Yes. And last year, he didn't set a career high, but he had a second highest assist per game average of 3.0. He was only 33. Could he have played point? Yes. But that would have been a two-headed monster, two-point guard system that would have been led by Devin Booker, not by JJ Redick. So I think that, and going back to that original point that I published about today, I think that is what is so important about the fact that the Suns were interested in trading for JJ Redick. Was because that meant that Devin Booker was going to be point book. When McDonough talks, sounds like they want to play Booker. Doesn't sound like, well, a lot of that is smokescreen too, though. Don't mind point book here and there, not full time. Well, did anybody think that James Harden was a full time point guard? Not when he got there, and yet 2 years ago, he led the NBA in assists at 11.2? 11.2. 2 years ago, I led at 11.2. Would I trade for D'Angelo Russell? Yeah, hell yeah. I'm a McDonough fan. I think he gets a bit of a bad rap, honestly. Honestly, yeah. Here's the thing. Do I think the Bucks would give up Brogdon for a first rounder? For their first rounder? You hear a Harden argument, but what have they won? Do I give McDonough high marks? I give him sufficient marks. Sufficient enough to keep him. Yeah, right. What have they won? Well, under Harden, Houston has won. Simmons thinks we should have waited until he showed this year he could lead a team as a superstar. Oh, you had to. Booker is no James Harden. Well, James Harden was no James Harden until he became James Harden. Now, Shaq Harrison was a second or third. He's a Nickel Knight. When is D. Russell a free agent? After this season, if I recall correctly. D'Angelo Russell a trade target? I'm sure he could be. And Book shows some defensive pressure. Lance Blake. What has Houston shown? Well, last year they showed 62 wins. And the Western Conference Finals, 65 wins in the Western Conference Finals. The year before, 55 wins in the semifinals. The year before that, this is all under Harden. Come on. Sometimes Basketball Reference works super fast, and sometimes it just works ridiculously slow. Oh, okay. Well, then 2 years ago, 41-41 under Kevin McHale. But, under Mike D'Antoni was 55 wins and then 65 wins. So when was the last time the Suns won 50? 2009, 2010. Bill Simmons has so many mixed opinions with the Suns. He talks. He's Gambo. He just talks. Prediction for the Suns wins 37. LOL, Simmons called Booker garbage on defense, only as an offensive weapon, don't give deals. I don't know. Is Book surgery anything to scare ourselves about? It's something because he had it, but I don't think it's anything that we should be nervous about. He's going to be fine. If they don't expect him to be out past the first or second week of the regular season, then I would hold him out through the third week if it meant guaranteeing, hey, I feel zero pain, no swelling, feel nothing, I hit it and I feel nothing. I would do that. So someone who's not a two-way player. To someone who's not a two-way player. Oh, he wouldn't give a max contract to someone who's not a two-way player? Yeah. All right. Thanks, buddy. Thoughts on Red Anderson's impact this year? Great reserve. Booker is not even that bad on defense. Booker isn't that bad. We got to have a better system, and he now has better defensive players around him. Josh Jackson's going to improve on defense. They now have Trevor Ariza, who's very good at defense. DeAndre Ayton is definitely underrated on defense. We got Ryan Anderson in the trade for Marquise Chris. Only thing Simmons said that was terrible was his line about how Tatum could be an MVP candidate. He talks. He just talks. He said plenty of... Oh, yeah, that's kind of his calling card, isn't it? That's definitely his calling card, is the chase down block. That's that Devin Booker that is. Question is why? What's the question? Or why is the question to what? question is why, but I don't know to what question would I be asking why. While you type, I'm going to take a sip. By the way, we're 30 minutes in, so please, heart, please like, please retweet. We're going to go another half hour, plus at least single overtime. I'll make it double. I love free basketball talk, free Suns talk. Starting five for this season when Book is healthy. I am hopeful that it is Point Book, that it is Josh Jackson, TJ Warren, Trevor Ariza, and DeAndre Ayton. Now, if they get a point guard, then I would say point guard, Booker, Jackson, Ariza, and Ayton. Oh, yeah, we traded Marquise. Yep. Mikal Bridges, 30-point percentage this season. I'm going to go 34. It usually always seems to start low and builds. So I'm going to say 34, which should be good. My dream came true when they traded Marquise. I was so done with him. What if the Igor Kokoskov experiment was terrible? We won't know for at least 2 years. I mean, they would have to go 10-72, playing everybody every game for them to fire him after 1 year. If Booker isn't healthy, do we see Cannon starting on point if we don't make a trade? Yeah, I would say that Cannon would be the starter with, that would be my projection, or a presumption / projection. It would be Cannon the starting point guard with, why can't I think of Shaq Harrison as the backup. If we had signed Blake, would we have drafted Ayton? Probably. If they had the first overall pick, yeah, because you got Blake Griffin as a power forward, Ayton as the 5. So now you've got a hyper-athletic power forward who, Blake Griffin can shoot a little from the outside, right? I mean, I don't know his three-point stats off the top of my head, so let me see. Oops. All right. I'm not saying I'm not afraid. Yeah, he shot 34.8% from 3 last year, attempting 5 points. Yeah, so I mean, you've got a power forward who can stretch the floor. I'm good with that. Oh, if 34.5%. I'm not afraid. I have set up my player. I'll talk about that in a second for sure. Bled, Book, and Blake on the same team, man, 2017. Yeah, it was crazy. I forgot. Imagine if we signed KD. He won't, but I would love that. KD next to Booker and Ayton. Oh my gosh, that would be legit. That would be really legit. But the thing about Igor is, here's the thing. He is going to absolutely and unequivocally be better than he who shall not be named. So, that said, yeah, he might not be great, but he's going to be better than, I'll be a little bit more specific. Our head coach from 2 years ago, who you all know, if you've watched this with any regularity, you know that he is my absolute least, I ain't saying his name, brother. I hate him that much. He doesn't deserve to be spoken about. So, that said, Jay Toronto, I think, was a much better coach, and yet his team sucked. So it also had to do with the intentional tanking, the roster and everything. I think Igor is going to look good. I really do. Katie going to Lakers, apparently, from some fair side source on Twitter. I'll believe that when I see that because, if he cares about, is that a Suns towel behind you? If so, it's the best place. Not a towel. This is actually a throw. It's a throw, and yeah. And Amazon. $20? I'm not going to say it, buddy. He can't have a family over basketball. Sure he did. Worst head coach in the history of the franchise. Worst head coach in the NBA that year. And people say Butler, Clay, and Kawhi to the Lakers. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody's going to the Lakers. And here's the thing about KD, why I disagree with him going to the Lakers, is because I think he really does care about what people think about him. So does LeBron James. Only LeBron James is older and better than Kevin Durant. Probably not by much, but he is. So that said, I think KD is still young enough, and his Twitter escapades certainly prove that he cares what people think. And I think after all the trash that people have talked about him with him going to Golden State, if he then went to the Lakers and paired up with LeBron James, he would never, ever be loved outside of LA. And so he wants to be a nationwide brand. KD back to OKC. That would be hysterical. I'd be okay with it. I really would. Especially with Paul George. If, yeah, they had James Harden, but James Harden was young, and then throw a blanket. And then they let James Harden go way too early. With just remember that line from that commercial, the ESPN commercial from Anchorman? It'll be a cultural and financial disaster. The trading of Harden was a cultural and financial disaster for the OKC Thunder. He would be crucified by the media fans, but exactly, 100%. KD can't go back to OKC. Doesn't feel like. I know. I agree with that, and I agree with that, but I think it'll be hilarious. First round pick in TJ Warren for Butler. I personally do not want Jimmy Butler. I want a point guard over Butler or a power forward. I think I'm okay with Booker and Josh Jackson. I'm more than okay with Booker and Josh Jackson at the wings. Westbrook, George at the 3 and KD at the 4. That works. It totally works. And that's the thing. He walks in. Now, granted, he would have to make amends with Russell Westbrook. But I mean, for a championship, they would do that, I'm sure. I'm not, but I would expect. But they made it to the finals because they had 3 stars, because they had James Harden. They let James Harden go way too early. If they had just re-signed James Harden like any logical franchise would, they probably won a title because now they've got their 3rd star. They let Harden walk. I mean, they trade him for nothing. And they could never get over the top because they only had 2 stars. And so why did Cleveland win their 1 title? They had 3 stars. So Thunder needs a new head coach. Why did they fire Scott Brooks in the first place? I don't actually know. Honestly, I hate all this talk. McDee just got Pat Bev to get a preseason already. Oh, just get Pat. I'm sorry, but I'd be okay with Patrick Beverley. I still am a Spencer Dinwiddie fan. He's the guy I want because he's a better assist maker. I want a point guard also, but if you're going to run point book, I can see us trading for a good. I say, and here's the thing. I say you hold your assets. You don't trade. Now, granted, the Suns are only trying to trade reportedly a 2nd-round pick for Patrick Beverley for Spencer Dinwiddie. They wouldn't trade that Milwaukee 1st-round pick. They want to trade that Milwaukee 1st-round pick for a star, and they don't want to waste it on a one-and-done guy because Patrick Beverley is 30, 31, and he's got 1 year left on his deal. I think he's 30. He's 30. He's only got 1 year left on his deal. Spencer Dinwiddie is still on his rookie contract, but again, only 1 year left, and you got to re-sign him. Has the timeline been blown up? No, it's still entirely intact. Dinwiddie is good, but we would have to pay him like $7 million. That's nothing. I would totally take that. And that's the thing. He is good. I mean, the fact that he averaged 6.2 assists per game and he only started 58 of 80. Oh, he averaged 6.6 assists per game and he only started 58 of 80 games. That's a huge deal. He averaged 8.2 assists per 36 minutes. I want that kid. D'Lo is 22. We have too many small forwards. Yeah, but one of them will be traded. I think just Josh Jackson and Mikal Bridges are better than people think. Maybe. Okay, but so here's the thing. Going back to, are the Suns the new Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors? If they are, then the clock is already ticking on Josh Jackson and TJ Warren being traded because they want 3-point shooters. And if one of those guys does not improve significantly on the 3-point shooting, I think one is gone no matter what at some point in the next 18 months. But that said, if one of them never improves on their threes, they are traded. So, and I believe that because I believe the Suns are now trying to play the analytics, a lot of threes and inside baskets. What would I give for Patrick Beverley? A 2nd-round pick. He's a unrestricted free agent after this year. Would I trade Milwaukee picks and Warren for Lonzo? Maybe. I still have a lot of faith in Lonzo Ball. I probably shouldn't, but I do. Maybe if whoever they agree to trade for that person agrees to sign an extension. Sure, but here's the thing. Dinwiddie is younger. Pat Bev is 30, 31. So it's like, are you really want an extension on a guy who's on the backside of his prime? Do I feel like Igor's offense needs a playmaker? Yeah, his name is Devin Booker. TJ being traded will break my heart and also be selling my TJ for $30 to it. I would take it. Is it authentic? If it's authentic, I'll pay you $30. You guys know me. I literally love TJ Warren. Not literally, but metaphorically. As a Suns fan, I love TJ Warren. TJ Warren doesn't need to go, but he's gonna be trade bait if he can't shoot threes. But I think Josh Jackson will be that guy. Maybe if whoever they agree to trade for that person. Oh, but nothing against him. Oh yeah, totally nothing against him. I understand. But I look for Josh Jackson to potentially be traded if his 3 points don't pick up, but he still has some hype around him. It's a Nike throwback ones. I'll sell it if he gets traded. All right, let me know. I dig the throwbacks. You rather keep TJ than Josh Jackson? No, I would rather keep Josh Jackson, but I think that Josh Jackson has the higher trade value. And if you're looking for a trade for, say, Damian Lillard, who again is the only person in the league I would trade him. I said that earlier, and I have to make an amendment. I would trade him for Unicorn. So those are the 2 players. I wouldn't trade him for Jimmy Butler. I wouldn't trade him for Karl Anthony Towns. I would trade him for Unicorn and for Dame. Anything else? No, I want him. The thing is, though, is that I think he's going to be the most highly regarded commodity on the roster, short of Devin Booker. even above DeAndre Ayton listed his rookie year. Josh Jackson was predicted to be the number one before. I hope so. No, I hope he could turn around this year and be great. So I'm going to love the Igor system. We get another playmaker next to Booker, and Igor will make it work. I agree. I know I'm psyched about Igor's awesome offense because it's a lot of moving, a lot of passing. You know, I mean, it's like they didn't have that before under their previous two coaches. It started out under Jay Triano. They had a lot more movement, but then it just got stale again. Granted, they benched everybody worth playing, so I mean they were intentionally tanking, but still. All right, we got at least another 20 minutes left and then OT, so go ahead and please retweet. I do want to talk about, go ahead and shoot whatever question comments you've got that you want, but what would be your lineup as of now? So with Devin Booker, I'm hoping, and so it would be, my lineup would be D-Book, Jackson, Warren, Ariza, and Ayton. What year do you project the Suns to get close to champions? It depends on if they find that third star. Remember when Toronto went 4-3 and then the NBA team started to praise the Suns? I praised the Suns. I was like 4-3, and then Lonzo has gained a lot of muscle, has improved his jump shot. His jump shot still looks like trash. Sup, Kurt? Sup, brother? How you doing? So I do want to talk about, though, 2K a little bit. I mentioned it earlier and somebody agreed. DeAndre Ayton doesn't dunk for some reason. He lays it up, and I think that's ridiculous. If he is not a dunker, I would trade him. To me, a center who doesn't dunk is akin to a guard who can't shoot threes. Toronto actually did coach. And I mean that sincerely. I was so high on Gortat until I realized that dude does not dunk. He was called the Polish Hammer, but he wasn't even a rubber mallet. So if Ayton, which Ayton can dunk, so I'm really not afraid. They need to just up his dunks. I don't know why it's low. I'm totally confident. Ayton will be a legitimate metallic hammer. But if Ayton can't dunk, I would look to trade him. Give me a guy that's going to go down there on a post and just pound people into submission. None of these little layups and hook. It's like get your damn 7'1" ass off the ground. He really hardly dunks. A rubber mallet, yeah. Gortat, yeah, he never dunks. You know what? I gotta pull this up. I know his dunks actually. I looked it up a while back, and his dunking actually went up slightly over the last couple of years. Which, by the way, I had totally forgotten he was traded to the Clippers. He's on the Clippers now, so we're gonna see him 4 times a year. All right, I'm pulling up his dunks right now. Let's see, is it play-by-play? No, it's advanced playoff shooting, playoffs play-by-play. Where are dunks? He is Tobias Harris? I hope so. I just don't know. 2K needs to fix Booker's jump shot and hair. Oh, I haven't paid attention to that. I'll have to. I've been playing the My Player. I was asked about that, and the answer. Oh, okay. All right. Gortat last year had 28 dunks. 28 dunks in 82 games. His career high is 58. No, his career high is 60 from his fourth year in the league, 2010, 2011. His career high, he's never even averaged 1 dunk a game. The Polish Hammer, I mean, you're 6'11". If he's got 3-foot arms, that means he can reach 9'11", which means there's an inch short jump. That is a tiny number of dunks. What I want to see the most in preseason in 2 weeks from the Suns, I want to see ball movement and a lot of threes. Gortat is 34. He'll be 35 February 17th. How do you dunk once every 3 games? It makes no sense. I'm telling you, bad on the knees? I guess. D'Anthony Melton with the Suns at the baseball game. I'm guessing Melton is staying a Sun. Oh, yeah, no, he's going to be a Sun. I really think the deal is that if they're going to trade Darrell Arthur and now that I understand he can't be traded in a package until October 31st, if it's going to be traded on a 1-for-1 and a dump, and a salary dump, then they need that roster spot. If not a salary dump, but to get somebody with a higher salary, they need that roster spot open for Melton. So right now they don't have that roster spot open. So I think the expectation is that they're trying to trade him. I don't know how long they can hold on to him and not sign him. I mean, if they had a trade lined up that can only go into effect November 1st when the Darrell Arthur restriction is taken off, can they wait to sign Melton until I don't know. Maybe can they send him down to the D League and then like call him up, or I have no idea. Purchase his contract. I don't know. That's something that is a little bit above my pay grade, if you will. But yeah, Marcin Gortat. I mean, it's just he's weak. I was so in love when they got him. I was really high on him. Especially remember his first full year here is the lockout shortened 66-game season. He averaged 15.4 points and 10 boards. And it was only 27. And I was like, and 1.5 blocks. I mean, he looked good. But then, you notice it's like, wow, he never actually dunks the ball, and that just irritates the hell out of me. I heard the Suns are trying to give second rounds for a new point guard. Yeah. Gortat was such a cheesy player in 2K on the Suns. Yeah. Thoughts? I would agree. I would only give up for Patrick Beverley, Spencer Dinwiddie. I would only give up a second-round pick because they're they're in the last year of their deal. So you're potentially only getting a guy as a placeholder for 1 year. So now, while I think they would probably re-sign Spencer Dinwiddie, I think they would only do that if he worked out. What if he doesn't work out? Now you've given up a first-round pick for a guy that's only here for 1 year. So I would agree. I would totally agree. So back to 2K. And when it comes to my player, I'm playing that. So I don't get to play too often, but I did get through. If you know the storyline, I'm not too far in, so I'm not going to spoil a whole lot. You play 3 games in China, then you play a couple of games in the D League, then you come in for the last game of the regular season, and I believe you always play for the Lakers for 1 game. And then I thought that because you win the game, if you win the game, then they say that the Lakers go to the playoffs, and then you never play again. I thought you were going to play some playoff games too. I thought that would have been fun, but you don't. And so I set it up, though, where I had the best chance to sign with the Suns as a free agent. So I just signed with the Suns as a free agent, and I played 3. Is it really Andre Ingram? That's hilarious. How about when we traded for Elfrid Payton, where the Suns hoping he was the future point guard? No, apparently they knew he was going to suck because they only traded a second-round pick, too. But so I was as a free. I'm a point guard. I was creating myself after Jason Kidd. I have since I was a kid. What would I give up for D'Lo? I'm sure he would resign. That would be different. D'Lo, I would trade a first-round pick. I would trade the Milwaukee pick. I wouldn't trade the Suns' pick. Or if I did trade the Suns' pick, I would make it conditional. Because you'd figure he would stay because of Booker. Okay, tell me this. If we could trade for a power forward, then for point guard, who would I get? Well, why would the Suns trade for power forward? Because they have Trevor Ariza and Ryan Anderson. And so I don't know why they would trade for a power forward. You're a playmaking shot creator. I think that's what I am with defense as my secondary. So I always model myself after J. Kidd. I want to be like a triple-double guy. And they have Holmes too, yeah. I don't know what power forward they would go after. And then who would you trade? Like what assets would you use to go after a power forward when you still have to trade for a point guard? I would love Unicorn, Ayton, and Book, and would give up whatever you could possibly want for that 3. Oh, I'm telling you. You're stretch big, that's awesome. I would trade Josh Jackson for Damian Lillard and Kristaps Porzingis. I really would. 2K defense is so hard this year. The ironic thing is I suck at defense, but I always make myself, I see you, brother. I always make myself capable of stealing the ball. So I always my arm length is. I've got really long arms. Anyway, my arm length is good. My steals are higher, and I do good on blocks. Because to be honest, when I play basketball, that's about the one thing I'm good at. I'm good at getting my hands in. I can't shoot. I'm a good passer, but I can't dribble. I'm not lying to you. But I've always I can jump high enough with my arms long enough that I block a lot of shots, and I can get steals pretty. 1 or 2 every pickup game, if you will. And if not for Katie or Tobias, true. I hate Anderson's contract. I think he's traded after this year. Next offseason, my top target for me is Kyrie. I'll tell you what. I don't want Jimmy Butler now. Oh, sorry, YouTube. I don't want Jimmy Butler now. But if they could clear the cap space, if they get Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving next year, and still have... I do not want Kemba Walker. And still have Booker and Ayton. Yeah, absolutely. Kyrie will still be like 29, right? If somebody knows it before I'm able to type one at a time left-handed. I'm definitely right-handed. He'll only be 26? Is that young? He'll be 27 next year. All right. How good would the current Suns be if they had Prime Nash? Not as good as 7 seconds or less, but still a hell of a lot better. Hands down, Kyrie is my favorite point guard. Well, again, if you were able to, I would love to try this on 2K. I might have to just to see. If you were able to, you know what? I should totally do a stream sometime. Maybe I can. I'm on spring break, fall break in 3 weeks. Maybe we'll set up a night where I'll play 2K and we'll talk, and then we'll just play every fun simulation we can come up with. Build the best fun Suns team we possibly can. I remember Kyrie didn't want to come here, and I think he asked Kobe advice how to handle it. Oh, wow. I think I remember hearing that, but I still think he could as a free agent. Cat or D Love, Kyrie, and Butler? Yes, I would agree. Yeah, good point. And again, that would be a fun simulation to do. Compare those two. Man, I wish we had today's Mike D'Antoni back in the 2000 Suns Nash. Oh, for sure. They probably, let's be honest, they probably do win a title. If they play with the current Golden State Houston mindset, they probably win a title. I'm sorry, I never heard what's going on with Melton. They haven't signed him yet, but I've spoken to somebody who said that they don't have to yet. So it's more of they don't have to. I think what they're trying to do, the reason why they haven't released Darrell Arthur yet is because they're trying to move Arthur's money. And if they could get somebody to pick up his contract and not ship anything back, then boom, they've got this spot to re-sign Melton, or to sign Melton, and just keep him on the roster right there. Or if they can trade, well, I guess they wouldn't, if they were to do it for a 1-for-1. Yeah, so I'm not sure. That's my guess. They're probably just looking to dump Arthur's contract entirely. So that way they're not paying it. That way they have space to be able to make a trade at some point in the year to acquire more contract in return. So that's got to be it. That's really has to be it. Oh, where did Alec Peters go? You know what? Now that I say that, I'm pretty sure I tweeted that. Where is he now? I'm glad to see though that. He's in Moscow, CSKA in Moscow. Isn't that where I'll trade Josh for Patrick Beverly? You trade JJ for Pat Bev? Isn't CSKA Moscow where Diana Taurasi plays? Obviously, for the women's, I gotta see. Diana Taurasi, Russia. Okay, so CSKA. No. Oh, she's UMMC Ekaterinburg. Does it say Dynamo Moscow, Spartak Moscow, Fenerbahce Istanbul. Okay, so no, not the same. I'm not Jackson can't shoot to save his life. Well, let's give him this summer. Let's just see how improved Josh Jackson's shooting that is. Let's see how improved. It has improved this year. Oh, hell yeah, man. What's your name? J-Trav? Thank you so much. Dude, brother, I do this for you. I really do. I do this show for you guys. I don't, I make a little bit of money running this website, but I don't make a whole lot. And this is, I don't get any stipends or anything. This is just all me, and I do this for you. I love doing this with you guys. I love doing it for you guys. It's the only place in the world we get this kind of a show. D-Book Action JJ for LeBron, Kuzma, and Ingram. Well, I mean, you'd have a better shot at winning a title for like 2 years, and then your future is shot. So then you just start the rebuild over. But, I mean, you'd have a shot at a title. Thanks, brother. No, thank you so much. Again, I do this for you every week. We're going, by the way, we're going for another 6.5 minutes. We'll go for another 16 minutes. Go ahead and please like, please retweet. I'm not JK trading Jackson. Wait, what? Would you not trade him? Ingram and Josh need to go to a restaurant together and just gain more weight. That's hilarious. JJ's just got to shoot threes. And so that's the thing. I stand by. If one of them, between JJ and TJ Warren, if TJ Warren comes out this year and is draining threes at a 34, 35, 36% clip, which he shot 40% his rookie year, I think, but he only attempted like 1.2 a game. But if Warren comes out and shows a much, much improved shot and JJ doesn't, I think JJ is absolutely on the block for a star. Okay, he shot 40% his second year, attempting 1.5, although he only played 47 games, so he only attempted 73, so that's really nothing. But otherwise, TJ Warren, 23.8%, 40% on 70 attempts. 26.5%, and the last year 22.2%. That has to go up or he's traded. I mean, that's got to not double, but go up by 50%. Give me anything for him. And the same goes for JJ. I mean, he shot, so Warren shot 22% last year. I want to say that JJ shot 26%. Give me a second. I think JJ going to be a decent three-point shooter this year. Wow. Okay, 35 to 40 isn't decent. 40 isn't decent. That is like elite. So 26.3% last year. So I was right. So if he shot 35%, that's a very, very good average, especially if he's attempting 3-4 a game. That means he's making, if he's shooting 4 a game, he's making at least, 1 a game, if not 2. In those games where he attempts 7, he's making 3. So if he's making 40%, now he's elite. Did you see the Suns video? Did you see that video of the Suns practicing Kelly? No, I did. You know what? It was apparently tweeted out just moments before I started, so I did not see it. But if you want to DM it to me or tag Valley of the Suns on Twitter, I'll check it out as soon as we're done with the show. I'll totally check it out. I hate to sound pessimistic or what have you. I'm certainly not shooting down anybody's excited thoughts. I want to be just as excited as you, and I am just as excited as you guys. That said, I put no stock in off-season practice videos. I put no stock in Summer League. I put very little stock in preseason, and I put not so much stock in the first 2 weeks of the season. It's not like Troy's or Cannon's Instagrams and Twitter. Oh, okay, I see. Deal average 20.5, Ayton 18.9, 1.2. Those would be just staggeringly awesome. Those would be monster years for those guys. Because remember, there was that video that leaked in regards to how teams play off, during the offseason. Just joined a bit ago. Are you up on the Suns trying to grab Pat Beverly? I'm up on him, but only for a second-round pick. He's 31, and so I got rid of his age. I want to say he's 31, and of restricted free or an unrestricted free agent of this year, I wouldn't give him anything else, just in case they don't keep him. McD should have let Boston take JJ, and we could have had Tatum. But would Tatum have been as good with the Suns last year as he was with Boston? Probably not. Think about it. The Suns suck, so would Tatum have been any good? Might Josh Jackson have looked much better in Boston? And that's the thing. I could foresee an alternate universe in which Boston gets Josh Jackson, the Suns get Tatum, and we have this exact same conversation, only reverse. And it's, the Suns should have let the Celtics get Josh Tatum, and we get Josh Jackson. I'll bet you anything. Trade Josh Jackson, T.J. Warren for Alonzo or Patrick. I would still trade T.J. Warren for Alonzo. I really would. I'm mad 2K doesn't even have Igor's face scan. His face scan, and I noticed a Suns player. Was it Ayton? They don't have a picture of Ayton. All they have is the video. It's like you don't have a picture of his face. It's not a video, but a digital recreation. It's like I wanted a picture. What the hell do I care? But obviously I care something because I'm complaining about it right now. Sometimes I do it. Remember last year, Marquise Chris for half the season was Tyler Ulis. They didn't fix it until the All-Star break. And I was the one that tweeted it at him. I want to say that it was, at least it's not 2K17. Yeah, exactly. I want to say that it was, who was it? Mr. Rich, I think. Mr. Rich from Australia. He sent me a screenshot. I tweeted it out and tagged Marquise Chris. Marquise Chris retweeted and commented, and an hour later he pulled it down. Because I'll bet you anything, 2K called him, or at least called his reps and said, take that down, we'll fix it. Don't make us look bad. I'll bet you anything. Or maybe the Suns did, where the Suns said, hey, take that down, we'll contact 2K, we'll get it taken care of. But it was, I believe it was Mr. Rich sent me the screenshot. I tweeted it out and tagged Keese in it. Oh, Keese was a 2K partner. There you go. So there must have been a call. I tagged him in it. Keese retweeted and commented, and then with an hour later pulled it down. Fortunately, I screenshotted it, though. I kept it for forever. Just got here. How many more minutes? You going? I'll do double overtime. We'll go another 10. Whatever you got. In fact, we still got a large group on here. Thank you very much. Go ahead and please retweet. I'll hit double overtime. Rapid fire. Send anything my way. So in regards to 2K though, I'm doing my player. I've never actually played out a full storyline on my player. I'm kind of like dedicated to doing that this year. It'll still probably take me 16 months, but I'm like, I want to see the whole story. Those guys always get the calls when they do stuff like that, exactly. Yeah, I mean, but, they got a brand they got to fix. It just doesn't make sense. Like, how do you make that mistake and publish it? Be Fresh was so annoying last year. Was Be Fresh, was that the Fresh Squeezed? That was last year's storyline, correct? I never finished it. Like, I was told that your partner, your best friend, I forget his name, I was told at one point that he gets traded. Which story? This year's story? I like it so far. I do have one complaint, though. So if I recall, that was 2K17. What was the story last year? I don't remember. I'm sure I know last year I did the GM mode, and I played through that whole storyline. And I'm going to do it again this year. But I remember the Fresh Squeeze storyline, I was told that your best friend gets traded, and because, I came up with the Denver Nuggets, and then I got us traded to the Suns. A hockey player tweeted a picture of himself, and it was a lefty, and he's a righty, but deleted ASAP. Oh, that's hilarious. This year's it's going to be better. 2K18 was the neighborhood. Did I never play that then? Maybe I never played it last year. I know I had the game, but maybe I never played the storyline. Oh, no story. That's why. Okay, because I swear to you, I stopped playing around Christmas. I just kind of moved on from it. So that's probably why. So Be Fresh was A's best friend who lived with you. Oh, okay, then I didn't play the neighborhood last year. I know I didn't. It didn't interest me. I didn't like that. And in fact, last night I got on to play. I wanted to just play one game and just stop playing. You get really good super quick. Alex Len is with Atlanta. So that's kind of the thing is I'm finding myself, I'm like, man, I can improve my guy pretty quickly, but I'm kind of okay with it. Because I want to see the storyline. I'm dedicated to seeing the story. I don't have it. I don't mean this to sound. I'm just gonna put it exactly the way I feel. I'm not gonna spend $60 on it. It's not an online game. Justice Young. That's what it was. Yes. So I was told that at some point Justice Young gets traded, and I never even got to that point in the storyline. So I should probably go watch it on YouTube. I'm not gonna pay $60 for Spider-Man because it's not an online game, and so. Yeah, okay, so I came up with Denver, but then I got us traded to the Suns, and I was told at some point Justice Young gets traded, and that's part of the storyline. I never even got to, I stopped playing. So I'm just going to wait for, Fresh Squeeze, which I kind of liked. I was like, that was a clever, that orange juice OJ thing, that was a clever story. I got called out for being trash, and I admitted it hurt a little. That's funny. I'm not very good either. But, so for Spider-Man, I'm going to wait until I can find Spider-Man for $30. Justice was supposed to sign with you on free agency, but it didn't go to the Suns. Oh, that sucks. We get Pat Bev yet? If they'll take a second-round pick, I think the Suns do. But if the Clippers have got to be willing to give him up. Boy, would the Suns be Houston Rockets West, though, if they got Pat Bev. That would be hilarious. So here's my complaint. I am an English teacher. I teach a number of things, but I'm an English teacher. Beverly Ariza Anderson, broken timeline. Well, but they haven't traded any young guys to do that outside of Marquise Chris, who, I'm going to be honest, I don't think was ever any good. Yeah, when Orange Juice activated, that was fun. So my complaint with 2K19, I'm an English teacher. I hate it that they made the voice actor for 2K sound like he says smart things, but he says it in a very unintelligible, inarticulate way. And it literally sounds like he didn't have an education past his sophomore year in high school. And that irritates me. It's like, make the guy sound intelligent, make him speak articulately. He played in college, they say, because you make it all the way to Sweet 16. So maybe he was only there for 1 year. And yes, as a teacher, stay in school, get a damn BA. But I digress. He just sounds kind of dumb. And it irritates me. It just really does. The fact that my player couldn't cook instant noodles killed me. Oh, I haven't reached that point yet. Is that this year's storyline? I haven't reached that point, that he can't cook instant noodles. Oh, that was in China. Well, but that was when he was staying in the Department of China. But he got distracted, right? He was daydreaming, and he screwed it up. Or he couldn't put it in the water? You're right, I did that probably 3 in the morning. And I'm vaguely remembering. I remember that now, but I'm vaguely remembering precisely what happened. But no, that was funny. I actually really did dig the playing like the old school NBA 2K when he played as Corey Harris is annoying as hell, but when you play him on the arcade in Beijing and you play as the Houston Rockets against the Boston Celtics, that was kind of cool. I thought it was. I lost. I was tied at the end of the first quarter and it just went downhill. Yao Ming is just awful. Yeah, he totally screwed up Roman. Yao Ming is just awful in that game. Like, he would get the ball at the free throw line. I'm like, oh, crap. You know, the second he caught the ball, it was a turnover. Everything was just slapping. He couldn't dribble. He was so slow. He could barely jump. He just made it so hard. And so, like, I couldn't do anything with T-Mac. And then without the shot, I'm so used to the shot thing, that little graph that shows up, that as soon as I skip the story, oh, I love the story. To me, the stories in video games, they're so good. When it's a good, inviting story, rest in peace, Vic from 2016, Spike Lee made the movie that year. It did. I never finished it, or I never even played it, but I did watch a lot of it on YouTube, and I thought it was way overplayed. I thought it was kind of stupid. You know, I like a good, inviting story, but I thought, like, that speech, the letter at the very end, I was just like, all right, that guy was like a loser, and all of a sudden, oh, he's dead, he committed suicide, and now he's a saint. I kind of take issue with that. From a moral perspective, you know, disagree with me if you like, that's cool, but I'm just saying, I just thought that got way, I'm like, all right, whatever. But it's a video game storyline. That said, though, when there is a good video game storyline, I'm invested. Because you're essentially playing in a movie. And that's why I love the Arkham City franchise. Those are great stories, especially Arkham City. It was just a great story. When I saw 2K bring back KTM and Jackson Ellis, that's awesome. That's freaking. Well, I must have not played that game. Was that from 16 that they were there? I don't remember them. I don't remember playing against them, so I don't remember what game that was from specifically. But I read that they were making a reappearance. Oh, that's 2K14? Okay. Oh, ATM was last year from the Playground, and Jackson Ellis was from 2014? Okay. All right. That is fun that they retreaded characters like that. That's cool. You'll get them this year. I played against them in the D-League, so I saw them in the D-League. Getting nervous about this point guard situation, I would absolutely love to do him 20. I'm not nervous because I really do think that the Suns their intentions are on point book. Think about the three-point shooting. If Josh Jackson and TJ Warren can prove their shot, think about the amount of offense they can have with Booker, JJ, TJ Warren in the starting lineup, with Trevor Ariza, with Ryan Anderson as your sixth man, and DeAndre Ayton. That's a lot of three-point shooting. It's a lot of slashing. I like the sound of that offense. And that's why I believe that if they had made that trade for JJ Redick, which now, boy, do I wish they had, that would have been huge. That would have solidified. Yes, he would have played some point guard, but it would have been a two-point guard system. It would have been KJ Stockton, KJ Hornacek. More of a true two-point guard system than Bledsoe and Dragic. Sham scared me at school today because I thought we got Beverly out. He just said he's one of our top. Yeah, I watched that video. That was pretty interesting. A lot of defensive holes, though. Okay. All you have to do is score more than your opponent. Become an efficient three-point shooting team. Become an efficient offensive team. And you just have to outscore them 107 to 101. Or 113 to 107. And boy, will I take 113 to 107. 100%. I mean, those would be fun. Yeah, Suns going to average 120. I would take 120 to 113. I'm not going to lie. Why trade for a Beverly point guard with bad knees when we just got rid of one with a bad knee? If you can trade him for a second-round pick, I would do it. Just because you're really not giving up anything. It's for 1 year, and it's just until if they really do want to put Book at 2 and they really want a point guard, then it gives you a year to find that guy. It buys them time in case Damian Lillard is on the market around the trade deadline, which I stand by. I think he will be. I think Damian Lillard is going to be on the trade deadline, on the market at the trade deadline, because I don't think Portland's going to win. Then again, the Suns got the training staff mafia to revive Pet. That's true. 7 seconds left for rebirth. Absolutely. Only maybe on steroids. It would be because think about it, Houston is on steroids. Houston is 7 seconds or less on steroids. That would be them. We got another 45 seconds left. I'm gonna get off in about a minute. But go ahead and please like, please retweet. 35 seconds. We're going to rapid fire anything. Gotta be honest, my voice is getting tired. I lectured a lot today. But hey, I love this. That it's not a complaint. I'm just being truthful. I need something to relax the old vocal cords. Nothing? I'm going to hang up. I'm going to end in about 15 seconds. Can switch to 0 now? I do watch hockey. I'm a big Yotes fan. Can switch to 0 now? I'm not sure what the rule is. Cheers, brother. Peace. I'm really not sure what the rule is on changing numbers before a season. So maybe he wants... Well, it's 23, right? Maybe he wants... Jackson's going to switch to 11? When is he going to switch to 11? What is the biggest Sun story before next week's Periscope? I'll say that the biggest story is that they do acquire a point guard. I don't know who. It just seems like they're trying to. So I'm going to go with they do before training camp. And I'll say next week. Because what day does training camp start? Can someone remind me? It's the 23rd. Is it 6 days away? So is it Sunday? It's 2 Mondays from now. So it's 17/24. It's 2 Mondays from now? So it's the 17/24, so it's the 31st. So they play a preseason game, because isn't their first preseason game October 1st? I want to say, because their first preseason game, Phoenix Suns 2018, I want to say it's next week. What do you know? Phoenix Suns announced training camp schedule by Adam Ains. So I wrote about this. I should know. So 25th. Okay. Yeah, so training camp is 25th. So it's 8 days. So it is next week. So that would make it on a Wednesday. 25th is a Wednesday. 25th is Tuesday. So it's a week from tomorrow. Yeah, it's a week from tomorrow. I was going to say, because I knew their first preseason game was the first. It's a week from tomorrow. So I will say that, that'll be the big news. If they're truly looking for a point guard, which I still feel like is a smokescreen, if they're truly looking for a point guard, then I say they make that trade before the next Valley of the Suns Live. Big story, Warren is traded. If he's traded, they're trading for a star, so he's in a package. So Damian Lillard, who obviously you guys know I want. I just think it's going to be Josh Jackson for Lillard, for Dame. So that's just my thought. Big story. Bots. All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to wrap up. If something big does happen and I've got the evening off, which is always plausible, I will do a live show. Sign Mike Bibby. Yeah, as an assistant coach, sure. All right, so thank you all. Peace Prime. I will see you in a week. It's been a hell of a show. I do this for you guys. I love you all. I do the show for you. I can't wait till next week already. I'm counting down the hours. So I will see you in, I don't know the hours, but I will just say 6 days and 23 hours, 6 days, 22 hours, and 46 minutes. How about that? I'll see you in a while. I'll see you in a week, Love you all. Peace. Go Suns.